Ron Duguay played 860 NHL games with the Rangers, Red Wings, Penguins, and Kings, and he joins us today from St. Augustine, Florida. How you doing, Dukes?
I'm doing well. Today is Monday, and the Rangers are playing tonight. It's always a level of excitement for me as the build-up still happens because I still, follow closely because I love to talk about it. So when I wake up in the morning and I know there's a Ranger game, I'm happy.
That's like me and the Regina Pats, to be frank, to be honest with you. And they've got the number one team in the NHL in there tonight, the Florida Panthers. But can we please go back then to Friday? Well, both those goals, you saw them. Like the McDavid goal, it was only 100 feet in. It wasn't 200 feet. He didn't have to do much weaving. The Rangers just stood and watched him. Is it worthy of all the hype that it's getting, do you think?
Well, when you know what we know, you think less of it. But if you just look at for what it is, when you think of Connor McDavid, he's capable of doing these things. Mm-hmm. And he has the confidence of beating guys one-on-one because of his speed and puck control. And so he saw an opportunity, which I love. And this is what happened. This is why I like 3-on-3. When the guys first step on the ice 3-on-3, they're going hard, they're going fast. And then within 30 seconds, the legs start to get heavy. And I think that's what happened with the Rangers. They're at the end of a shift, and they're all kind of standing there. And it was like, do you have them? Do I have them? You take them? And by that time, he was by 3, and then it was against the defenseman. He made a sweet move on them. And, that one thing with the defenseman, you think back of when you were a peewee, right? And you're always told, don't look down at the puck, look at the guy's chest. Follow the body. And sure enough, he peeked down. And Connor is so quick and he's so good. And then once he's in on the goaltender, now he's got Georgiev. Now, I'm not a big fan of Georgiev. I think that I described him as a very good minor league goaltender. I don't think he's a guy that you can count on to play against guys like Connor McDavid or just a quality shot. And so sure enough, they're up 4-1 and they came back. And it was like, I told you so. So that's one of the things when I think about Coach Gerard Gallant. I think he's doing a wonderful job, but it's the goaltending. Like he started him game 1 of the season in Washington. And so I'm not big on Georgiev. Other than that, the team looks really good.
Did you find, now that I think about it, well, McDavid said the game reminded him of the 80s. And I'm like, you were born in 1997. What? But you played with Wayne. Did you find guys with that like just standing around watching? I felt like the Rangers were in awe of McDavid the other night. Did the same thing happen with Wayne?
Well, oh yes, absolutely. Like Wayne was capable of beating guys one-on-one. He had no problems. There are times where in that situation, I think Gretz would have dumped it behind them and go around. But McDavid, what's different with him is his speed. Like he can get by guys so quickly. He's got the long reach. He's a tall guy. He's got more length than Gretz. You would see this in the 80s. It was literally pond hockey. And I think what happens is that sometimes, like the coaches will tell you, set a trap, right? And so that's what they did. They set up a trap for him, but they were just standing there. It was like, do you have him? Is he my man? They weren't sure. So they just kind of stood and watched. And he did what he did. And it's the highlight reel for the year.
The Rangers are 6-3-3, second in the Metropolitan Division, and doing better than I thought they would, this weekend notwithstanding. What's your take on their start so far under Gerard Gallant?
Well, when you look at the team itself, forget coaching. When you look at the team, I think they have good balance. They have skill guys like in Pedersen, Zibanejad, and the younger players. Younger players are still developing. They're not the guys necessarily who are pulling the load. And on defense, you got a Norris Trophy winner, and you throw him on a power play, and he's averaging a point a game. So I think they have good balance. And then you throw the best goaltender in the league, potentially, other than Markstrom in Calgary. When you have goaltending, I think he probably won them out of those games at least 3, and then he keeps you in the rest of the games. The games that they lost, when you look at, first game is Georgiev, and so a lot of it has to do goaltending. and they have a well-balanced team. And then when you think of coaching, Coach Gerard has made it very clear: if you don't play hard, if you're not physical, if you're not engaged, you will not play. And so I've seen some guys, certain players like Trouba, kick it up a notch, where he's more physical, harder to play against. And then you throw Ryan Reaves in there and a few other guys, and they're a team that's a little more physical. And that creates energy. It's energy in the dressing room because the weaker guys get tougher. And then they step on the ice and they just play a little bit harder, more physical, harder on the puck.
That's funny because the last time we talked, you said, name some big rough and tumble Canadian forwards. And I said, Ryan Reaves. And now he's playing for your team. How do you like that addition?
Oh, absolutely. I loved it. I don't know how Chris Drury got him out of Vegas. And I don't know why Vegas let him go, because it's not. I mean, part of it is what he does on the ice, of course. He's going to be out there, and every time he's on the ice, he's looking to hit someone. But it's what he does off the ice and in the dressing room. Very likable guy. And he creates an atmosphere of, hey, guys, we're going to play hard. Don't worry about it. I got your back, right? So I loved it immediately. And I said, you know what? Because of this guy and a couple other players they added, I think this team is capable of making the playoffs. And so right now, that's kind of what they look like. As long as, you don't have to deal with injuries. But I think Rangers are capable of making the playoffs at this point, and part of it has to do with the different makeup of the players.
Well, lastly, let me ask you this about tonight's game. Florida Panthers, New York Rangers. I think we're going to find out what the Rangers are after tonight at MSG. What do you think? This going to be a hell of a hockey game.
Well, they have to redeem themselves because the last game was embarrassing in Calgary. Now, I know Calgary, from what I've seen, I knew that they're a tough opponent, great goaltending, old school coaching, and hard to play against. They're hard on the puck. But I didn't realize that was going to happen. So they're going back at the Garden right now, embarrassed. And if I know anything about Gerard Gallant, he's going to walk in that dressing room with his game face on. And the players are going to play hard. And Shesterkin is going to be in net. Now, you never know what's going to happen, but I believe this game is going to be more physical than we've seen in the past from the Rangers. And I believe they're capable of keeping it close. And, of course, in hockey, it's a bounce here, bounce there. So I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a 3-2 hockey game. Could go either way. But I think, and then, of course, the Ranger fans are excited about this team. So the energy of the building should be pretty good.
Can't wait. Number one team against the number two team. Different divisions, of course, but it's going to be a beauty. Dukes, always great. Thanks for the chat. Hope you're having fun down there in Florida. We'll do it again soon.
All right. Always good talking with you.
NHL great Ron Duguay joining us from just up the Atlantic coast there in Florida. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching the RP Show on YouTube. And don't forget, we're live daily on YouTube from noon to 2 Eastern. If you like what you see, hit subscribe. And if you like the program, check around for other segments of The Rod Pedersen Show here on YouTube.